It is the Flow Friday Night Sports Show, and let's take a look at Eyre Peninsula Netball now. Joe Franklin joins me on the line to help us go through it. G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good. And you?
Yes, can't complain. All is well here, but not necessarily with our friends in Eastern Eyre. We've got no idea who won anything over there, so we won't be talking too much about them tonight.
No, can't find any scores. Had nobody send me any information, so all I know is that Cow had the bye.
Get your act together over there on Eastern Eyre. But look, let's talk about Great Flinders because we do have results and we've got a bit of an idea as to what's going on here. And we might start with the Lock Girls, who had a 30-goal win over Ramblers, who had a bit of a crack, Joe.
Yeah, they did. Normally 42 goals might just about win you a game this season, but unfortunately for Ramblers, who were very happy with scoring 42 goals, the opposition Lock shot 72. Lock had a full team. It was the first time they've actually been able to go out with their full team, and of course that includes Whitney Wright, who is back in defence for them. They actually had young Sophie Morton, who is Millie Morton's daughter, sit on the bench, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But for Lock, everybody did their job. Jordan Slatton and Lisa Burrows just so tall and so strong in goals. Look, Paige Darlett and Katie Harsma, they tried really hard all day, but, it's a bit like when you watch Janelle Fowler. What do you do? So tall. But, they had a really good crack at it. There's no question about that. And through the centre court with Lock, Tanya Hadmer was at wing defence. And she combined really well with Whitney Wright and Sarah Skinner to make a really very tight defensive unit. So the poor Rambler goalers were up against that as well. So, there was height at both ends. And then through the centre court, young Sally Cabot, she has a real crack every week. Sid Claughton did all right through there. But Millie Morton and Ellen Reid just evidently played blinders. They combined so well. It was almost as if they played together their whole life, evidently, watching them play.
There you go.
Yeah, they had a really good win, and Ellen Reid got the incentive award for Lock in that game. So for all her efforts through the centre. All in all, high scoring. It would have to be, Kira was relatively happy with 42 goals, and it's something that they can build on for this week. Yes,
indeed. All right. Speaking of building on things, what about Eyre United? Finally, 36-20. The Eagles would be disappointed with this. It was at the Cooplex as well. So they beat United Yolanda on their home deck. The Saints finally get a win.
Yeah, they did, and they on United Yolanda's home deck as well, like you said. But 36-20 is pretty low scoring. Having said about the last game, but look, both teams have got very young goaler lineups. Elsie Madden and Abby Cash for United Yolanda, and they were up against Sasha Stratford and Auntie Little. So it was a pretty tough day for them. A very tough day for them because, as we all know, two tougher defenders, tighter defenders, relentless. You just don't find on the Eyre Peninsula, and the two young kids were up against that. And actually, in the end, United Yolanda actually swung young Riley Modra, who was very young, who had been playing on Renee Colbung through the centre. They actually swung her into goals, and she actually didn't do too bad in there, those other two. So, yeah, Eyre United did this without Shanice Wells, who would be their top-line defender. There's no question about that. And without Talina Fable. So they're extremely happy with what they put out, with what they had. Tanya Flavel, as usual, drove and fed really strong for Eyre United into their goalers. Marty Masson was strong again through the centre. So all in all, Brooke was pretty happy with the all-round effort of the United girls, and United Yolanda, unfortunately for them, and probably had a fair bit to do with the scoreline. Tegan Modra went down very early in the game with what looks like a severe Achilles or calf injury.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we wish Tegan all the very best with that, and hope that it's not as bad as what we think, and that, she can get back out there at some stage. But, best wishes to Teagues on that.
All right. And the last match to talk about, Cummins Kapini Cougars taking on Sunby Bay, and we had a surprise in the footy where Cougars got hold of Sunby Bay. Well, Sunby Bay got hold of Cougars in the netball, which is just as big a surprise.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because I did say to you last week about Ella.
You did almost tip him, yep.
or no Morgs, McDonald. And Tumby just, they got on top and... Again, relentless. There's no question about that. Look, Ilka just followed up her form from country champs. No question about that. Sarah Laurie as well. In the end, Cougars had to play around a little bit with their combinations to try and replace the couple of injuries that they've got. So I think that it's going to take them a couple of weeks to settle down and decide exactly what they are going to do. And Tumby Bay, give them a sniff, and they're going to run with it. They did. So, well done to Tumby. They would be very happy with that win, and they will certainly continue to build on that, I have no doubt.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's have a look now at who's playing who this weekend in Great Flinders Netball. So some interesting games on the back of those matches played last week. Elliston Districts had the bye, but they're back in action. And what about this game? Elliston Districts and Cougars, all of a sudden it takes on a different meaning, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And I would thinking, and I actually know, that Kate Baker will be thinking that this is their absolute prime opportunity to take full advantage and get a win on the board here. And I have no doubt that that's what they're going to go to Kapini hoping to do. Look, there will be some interesting matchups through the centre court. There's no question about that at all. And there will be height at both ends for both teams. There'll be some young ones for both teams. So I just think this could be a very, very interesting game. And I do... Oh, yeah. Look, I honestly think if Elliston are going to grab a win against Cougars, it needs to be on Saturday. And the other thing about it is that it is a Kapini. It's their first Kapini home game.
Yes.
So they will be wanting to have a win there. But I'm going to say that if Elliston are ever going to do it, then it will be their chance and they need to grab it and run with it.
All right. Well, a couple of these other games too. Look at these. Eyre United and Ramblers. Now, the Saints haven't had a win up until last week. They could go back-to-back here against Ramblers, and I'm tipping that they will. I think they'll beat Ramblers.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And look, they are. Brooke did put in her little write-up that they're hoping to go back-to-back. And I think they probably will. If they can get everybody firing at the same time over 4 quarters like they did on Saturday, then I absolutely think that they can. Look, Ramblers, Sid Claughton is back having a bit of a run around through the centre with them. I think Layla Dowdle is still out, though, in goals. They are getting a nice little defensive unit together, like Paige and Darla and Katie Harsler. They worked really hard all game, and they are actually, not a bad sort of starting to work together as a combination as well. And Eyre United don't have a lot of height, so Ramblers probably match them as far as that goes. But I think the experience and the speed that Eyre United let that ball go will be a telling factor in the end. And I actually think Brookie might get a back-to-back win here.
Oh, well, I think you might be right too. But look, let's have a look at the last match-up, and this is another interesting one as well. I mean, Tumby Bay should start favourites here. They're heading to Lock, who had a good win last week. Both teams coming off good wins, but you just think Tumby Bay might be a touch classy for Lock across the ground, or across the court.
Yeah, I think they probably have got the class. But look, honestly, they're tall and they're strong, and Tumby Bay will not want to underestimate them. And last week, Lisa and Jordan Sladden shot really accurately. Mind you, having said that, Tumby Bay's 2 goalers are probably the most accurate goalie combination going around, I would suggest at the moment. Ilka is right on fire, and Sarah's following in her footsteps. But this game is going to come down to, I think, the centre court and who can get on top and who can deliver the ball the best to their goalers, because once they get the ball to the goalers, their goalers are going to reward them for it. So it'll be that turnover through the centre court or that defensive turnover that will be the difference in this game. And both teams have quite good defenders as well, like, Whitney Wright and Sarah Skinner, both quite tall, quite strong, very clever netballers. And, Summer Cave for Tumby, exactly the same. Like, she's very clever and you never get an easy ball off of her. So this will be I really think this will be the game of the round, and it will certainly be one to get along and have a look at. And look, I do just think that Tumby Bay have probably just got that little bit of flair in the end that might get them over the line.
Agreed. But before we let you go, Joe, we'll have a quick look at Eastern Air Netball. We haven't got any results from last week, but we do know who's playing who in round 9. So quick tips on Eastern Air round 9 matches. We've got Central Air United Storm travelling to Cal. They should beat the Cats there.
Yeah, they should. Look, Cal are going to have to try to contest with the Central Air United height. There's no, Rani Tomney, she's in goals and she's so tall. And coming off of a really good country carnival, you've got the two Bruce girls who are also extremely tall, extremely tough, extremely strong. So Cal are really going to be having to push it against those girls. Look, Kyla Franklin, there's no question about the fact through the centre for Cal, she'll give it everything she's got. And they do work really hard, but honestly, Central Air United, I think, will take this game away.
Yep, I agree. And then Kimber and the Eastern Rangers, I believe, match up again. And this one's at Cleve.
Yes, it is, evidently. And look, how many times have these two teams, under 10 goals?
Oh.
It's just, you can't, it's ridiculous. But look, not sure whether both teams are at full strength or not. I do know that Lauren Symes had contracted COVID, I think, so I don't know that she played last week, but I'm guessing she would be out of ISO by now. Jordan Hooper came off of a really good country carnival, so, she's so tall and so strong. But Kimber are quite deceptive this year. They've lost a few, but the couple of young ones that have come into the side are actually standing up. And, look, I reckon this will be a close one again, but I am just going to tip Eastern Air.
All right. Well, that's where we'll leave it. Eyre Peninsula Netball. Joe, well done. Anything else before we wrap it?
Just Port Lincoln have their breakthrough round this week, Jace. And we're encouraging everybody to wear purple. We've got a mentally fit EP coming out. They've got a marquee with some odds and bods there and some information for people. And at Waybacks last night, we had Murray Muzzakelsh came and talked to the girls last night and told his story, which was really interesting. He might have also thrown Ash, like me, in there as well, a few things along the way. But, which was really good. But, mental health these days, you really, really do need to take care of each other. And that's what's happening in Lincoln this week. If people want to get along and dress up in their purple and come along and have a look at a couple of games of netty, then by all means do so.
Get your purple on, and if you are struggling to, give Lifeline a call, 131114. That's their crisis support hotline. Joe, great chatting with you. All the best for breakthrough round this weekend in Port Lincoln, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Will do. Thanks, Jace. Take care.